In this 25th anniversary year of September 11th, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation continues to honor America's heroes. Heroes like Fire Lieutenant Michael Wells, who was inspired by 9/11 to serve his community. After 14 dedicated years of service, he lost his battle with occupational cancer, leaving behind his wife, Katie, and their 3 children. Tunnel to Towers honored Lieutenant Wells by paying off the family's mortgage in recognition of his sacrifices. Donate $11 monthly and amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to T2T.org.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Yes, Congressman, I hear you. I hope you can hear me clearly. I guess we should start with one of the big stories that occurred just Sunday, 48 hours ago. Mamdani having the nerve, the audacity to skip the Israeli Day Parade. How offensive was it in your opinion?
It's offensive. It's also dangerous because basically what he's doing is the reasons he gave for not going was an attack on the Israeli government, an attack on Netanyahu, and that just feeds into the pro-Hamas demonstrations, the anti-Semitism in the city. This is one time above all. First of all, it's always important to go to those type of events, especially the Israel Day Parade in view of the anti-Semitism over the years. But it's critically important now when there's so much anti-Semitism in the city, when we've seen these violent demonstrations, when we've seen the threats, we've seen actually demonstrations outside temples which get violent. You have the mayor himself who has made very anti-Semitic remarks. To me, one way he could have done to smooth that over, to make relations better, was to be at that parade and proudly take part in it. Excuse me. That's why I give Commissioner Tisch so much credit because she said she would march. She had a bit of a cough here, and she would march proudly. And marching proudly was really a way, I thought, of sticking it to Mayor Mamdani.
Absolutely. Do you see a scenario, or maybe it's just me, I see a scenario where often, as we know, Congressman King, police commissioners can use their platform if they want to and run for mayor. I really see her and a strong possibility as the first woman mayor of New York City. What do you think?
Well, I think she would be an ideal mayor. I actually know Jessica going back, I guess, now almost 20 years when I was on the Homeland Security Committee and I was working very closely with the NYPD and Ray Kelly. And Ray Kelly, I guess he recruited her almost right out of law school. And she was the youngest person in the room. She would be in a prominent place in the room when they were having the major security meetings. She was involved with the Lower Manhattan Security Initiative. That's the whole the camera system, downtown Manhattan. And she, again, was very knowledgeable, very composed. I'm saying that for someone who was, first of all, she's in a room full of cops. She was probably the only female, as I recall it, and she was certainly the youngest person in the room. And yet she handles herself with tremendous class, with composure, and obviously tremendous knowledge. And it's obvious from her job that she's been doing that she knows what it's like to be the job that the cops have. She knows what the job of the police department is, and she's done an outstanding job at it. And she has a quiet but firm way of expressing herself. I mean, she just very calmly said that she was, after the mayor went into his whole rant why he wasn't going to march, and she didn't take him on. She didn't get carried away. Just very calmly said that she would march, and she's put in the word proudly. And that, to me, one word was just perfect. It was absolutely the right meaning she was giving, the right message. So, no, could she be mayor? Yes, obviously she'd be, I think, a good candidate and a great mayor.
And you're correct, Congressman. Just the use of that one additional word said all that needed to be said. So Mamdani himself points to the fact that he let us know his hatred during the campaign. Like that's some valid reason for him to do what he did, stating that his views were stated during the campaign. Do you think that most New Yorkers really got it where this guy was coming from during the campaign?
I think because he was such a new candidate and so much gets caught up in the confusion, and we had, as you know, 3 candidates running for mayor, it was sort of a confusing situation. And no, I don't think they realized all that he was saying. And if they did, they thought maybe it was just something he was saying to get elected, or he was getting carried away a bit, globalize the intifada. I thought it was disgraceful and shameful. But I can see the average New Yorker who's not focusing on it every day says, listen, things are bad here in the city. How bad can this guy be? He's a young guy. Let's give him a chance. And I think that is probably what got him elected as much as anything, that he was a new face. Things were not going well, even though I have to say that in his last year in office, I thought Eric Adams did a very good job. But, no, I don't think they fully appreciated it. But the other thing is, Dominic, I think, though, that too many did. I mean, if anyone knew what he was saying and still voted for him, how could they do it? How can you be in New York? How could you be an American and vote for someone who talks about the Intifada, who didn't say a word of protest when there were riots and demonstrations at Columbia and other schools, when Jews were being attacked in the streets, and yet he was so quick to criticize any other human rights violation that he was perceiving, but somehow it was open season on Jews. So, and then he also, the whole class warfare, where he talked about private single-family homes and going after people who were making more money than others. I mean, again, going against the whole American dream. And so I think not everyone realized what he was saying. Not everyone took him seriously, but enough did that they still shouldn't have voted for him.
Well, his pal, Curtis Lewa, has already announced that he's running again, and that's clearly a move to split the opposition vote, which in a scenario to benefit Mamdani, he would, be reelected. But I don't see any possible way, shape, or form that this man gets a second term. What do you think, Congressman King?
I would certainly hope not. I would, we saw in Chicago they had a terrible mayor, and then they elected someone who was worse after that. So I don't know, maybe people are slow learners these days. I just don't see it, though. I mean, New York has always been special, as I said. I was born and raised in New York. I was born in Manhattan, raised in Queens, went to high school and college in Brooklyn. I was a Brooklyn Dodger fan, Met fan. My father was a cop, NYPD. So it's just, and New York is always, whether you agreed or disagreed, there was a certain style we all had. We understood each other. And he just not fit into that mold at all. I mean, I don't care whether it was Charlie Rangel or Rudy Giuliani. You can get along with them. I mean, the fact is that people from different backgrounds, somehow with all the rock'em sock'em style in New York, we managed to, most of all, be a New Yorker and be an American. And I just don't see that. Don't see that with Mandami.